Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch Want, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Panerai Radiomir 1938 PAM 232, 47 millimeters in polished stainless steel. This one's from the 2006 Panerai Special Series and is one of only, appropriately, 1,938 made. Some have called this the PAM 21 for the real world, and I'll get back to that in a moment. But the most important thing about this historic tribute model is that it is an homage to the first major evolution in the original 1936 Panerai dive watch design. Now, Panerai, longtime supplier to the Italian Navy, became a supplier of combat watches in 1936, issuing instruments to the new Decima Flotilla amphibious combat forces. The signature product of the company was not a watch or even a mechanical device at all, but the Radiomir paint that allowed the watch and associated Panerai instruments to be visible in low-light conditions, including underwater. 1936, with the help of Rolex, Panerai launches the first model called the 3646, featuring the Radiomir paint. But by 1938, when this design comes into play, it's clear that there's room for improvement, and thus the first major changes are made, appropriately enough, to the feature that defines every Panerai watch, the dial. Now, previously, the watch had used a case, movement, and dial manufactured by Rolex, enhanced and tailored for military use by Panerai's craftsmen. But Panerai realized that the Rolex so-called California dial, while distinctive, featuring Romans on top and Arabic numerals on the bottom, was not terribly legible in and of itself. Even with Radiomir, it was sometimes difficult to distinguish exactly what commandos were looking at in the dark. So simplicity was the answer, as it often is in precision instruments. Thus, 4 Arabic numerals at the cardinal 4 corners with baton indices, 2 hands, and that's it. In 1938, that was the solution. Now you can see on the wrist the classic Panerai 3646, or what we now know as the Radiomir case style, is extremely comfortable. The lugs are of the barely there variety. In the style of the original soldered-on wire lugs, these can actually be removed with a small screwdriver for strapping swaps yourself, but the benefit of them ergonomically remains the same today as it did in 1938. They allow a fairly large watch to fit seamlessly and comfortably on a smaller wrist. Now, my wrist is 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, and I have absolutely no difficulty fitting this 47 millimeter watch. Now, on a watch with any kind of flared lugs, integrated strap, any kind of additional protuberance beyond the case, 47 millimeters would be a deal breaker for me. But you can see this watch doesn't even stick up high off my wrist. In addition to wearing remarkably well and comfortably, it also maintains a low profile, and you can see that tumble home from the top of the crystal down over around the bezel to the flanks of the case. The Radiomir has a lot of contour to it, much more than the Luminor, or at least the traditional 44 millimeter Luminor in the Betterini case. The Radiomir is a great candidate as a dress watch for slipping under a cuff because it has that low profile and because the cuff can easily ride up and over it without any disturbance. It's not going to catch on your sleeve. It's an outstanding formal watch, and because of its simplicity, it wears with tremendous elegance. Now, I really can't overemphasize that elegance is part and parcel to the modern Panerai formula. The watches come from a utilitarian background, but today the buyers of these timepieces expect the polish, the fit, and the finish, and the thoughtful details that come with a luxury product. And this PAM 232 Radiomir 1938 has them in spades. I want to focus on the dial, as ever the star of the show. It's a beautiful sandwich with a loomed disc that is a fully painted loomed disc underneath with the superluminova glowing element. They don't use radium anymore. And then there's a stencil on top of it that has a gorgeous tobacco tone, beautifully consonant with the rose gold hands at center, but that loomed disc shines upward through the troughs that are etched in the shape of the numerals and the indices along the side. So you get a gorgeous, radiant, brilliant, and somewhat three-dimensional glow at night. Fans of loom, fans of simplicity, legibility, day or night, are going to love this Panerai Radiomir 1938. But those luxury touches, the gold hands, the tobacco tone with the high polish case and bezel, that's not strictly speaking true to history. What it is gorgeous, it's warm. It humanizes what was originally something of a cold, utilitarian blue-collar combat instrument. Here, just a little bit more upscale. It's still got that blue-collar simplicity and honesty about its design. It's just a little bit more humane, becoming, and just that much better a partner for a suit and tie, or should you prefer, short sleeves and shorts. Now the watch features the traditional troncoidal, yes, Panerai has a word for it, the troncoidal or onion-style knurled crown, so it's very easy to unwind the screw-down crown. Now the watch, despite an air of formality, does enjoy 100-meter water resistance, so if you do choose to remove the do-it-yourself removable lug bars and strap it onto a rubber strap or a waterproof hide, you can take this one in the pool, you can take this one to the beach. As a stainless steel watch with 10 ATM water resistance, that's 330 feet for us landlubbers on the North American continent in the United States. The bottom line is this is still a very rugged sports watch at heart. So you simply pull the crown, and it does have that wonderful tactile pleasure of a traditional hand wind movement. You can feel it, and the detents and the audible clicks are as satisfying as on some high-quality dive watch bezels. It's that robust a movement, it's that traditional, and it is a large pocket watch movement in the image of the original Panerai 3646. Panerai uses what they call the OP10, a 56-hour hand-wound pocket watch movement originally designed by Unitas. This one's been elaborated by Panerai. And inside this case, which it fills in full, it's an enormous machine. 37 millimeters across, it's one of the largest movements that you'll find anywhere, and it's very much in the spirit of those original Rolex caliber 618 Codebert pocket watch movements that powered the 1938 predecessor. This watch is an outstanding piece because it is true to history, but it steps forward with those luxury touches, with the beautiful strap of outstanding quality in calfskin, with a supple underside in contrasting leather, and of course that ecru simulated patina style contrasting stitch, rose gold hand, tobacco, sandwich dial. It's the image of its historical antecedent, and yet very much a companion for the modern man. This is a contemporary luxury watch that wears well with just about any attire, and for those who love history, for those who love luxury, for those who love Panerai, this could be considered the essential Panerai Radiomir reference. And for those who remember that 1997 PAM 21, the very first Panerai Special Series model, platinum with the original Rolex pocket watch movement, I told you I'd come full circle. This watch is the spit-in image of that glorious predecessor, but in so many ways more wearable, more practical, and because you can wear it more often, it's got to be considered more fun. This is the Panerai Radiomir 1938 PAM 232, available from Watch You Want.